Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are diving into one of the JavaScript most interesting function patterns, IIFE. IIFE or immediately invoke function expression. Now I know the name sounds intimidating, but trust me, once you understand what it does and why it exists, you will see how elegant and practical this pattern really is. So let's jump right in. The first question is, what is IIFE? So let me break down the name first. It's mean immediately invoked functions expressions. That means it's a function that run as soon as you define it. You don't call it later. It execute immediately. Let me show you the regular function first. Check this function. This is the regular function. But with an IIFE, we combine the definition and execution into a one step. What it means? It means the with the parenthesis, the function, then call this console log something or hello. Okay. Then again parenthesis. See that? The function is wrapped with the parenthesis, right? And then we immediately invoke with another set of parentheses at the end. This run right away without needing a separate function call. You can also write with the invocation parenthesis inside if you want, like this one. Okay. Both syntax work exactly the same way. It's just a matter of parenthesis. Then why we use IIFE? Now you might be thinking, why would I want to do this, right? Why not just writing regular code without wrapping it in a function? This is a great question. There are several powerful reasons. First is creating private scope. Before ES6 gives us the block scope uh, with let and calls, JavaScript only had a functional scope, function scope. IIFE was the go-to pattern for creating private variables that wouldn't pull out the global scope. Or check this code. This was the crucial in avoiding the naming collision, especially when multiple scripts were loaded on the same page. You see? Okay. The reason number two is avoiding the global namespace pollution. Imagine you are working on a large project with the multiple developers without proper scoping variables can easily conflict. Maybe you are just putting this one, okay, counter 0 for developer A, counter 10 for developer B. Oops, this is conflict, right? With the IIFE, each piece of code get into own isolation scope. It means, check this. This is the developer one. This is the developer B. I mean A and B with the IIFE. And that's the use case. Now, IIFE with the parameter. IIFEs can also accept the parameters just like the regular function. This is really useful when you want to pass in values from the outer scope. But you see, you have a variable, and with the IIFE, the function has a parenthesis, and it's a regular function. And when you are calling this here, you see, it actually it's give you the result. You get this I am a global from this value. Okay. Here is the practical example. So let's say you want to create a module that use a specific configuration. The say this is a function with the config. There is the API URL and this API key. Anyway, this key is not using here. That's why it's just little bit darker. Console log the API URL, and in this parenthesis we immediately call the URL and key. Your API logic actually here, and it actually config it automatically. It collect this URL as a config URL, and this is a key because you already mentioned this is your URL. Okay. Okay, great. Now, returning value from IIFE. Here is where it get really interesting. IIFEs can return values, which means you can use them to create modules with a public and private member. Just think, this is a function, right? Calculator function. In this calculator function, you see this is a bracket, parenthesis, function we call, and this is your private variable, right? And this is your private function. But when you are returning, this is a public, right? In this public, the return expression, what we did, the add and multiply. This is the public function. Okay. And console log, calculator, add, multiply, and select secret multiplier. And this is the secret multiplier, right? This is a private. and it's written the undefined because it's private. Okay. So what is happening? If I say clearly, this is the module pattern. The IIFE create a closure that keeps secret multiplier, the secret multiplier, and the private add hidden. Private add will be hidden. Well, the exposing only the method we want to be public. So this is the use case. That's why when we are trying to access the private, it's showing the undefined. But when we use the public function, try to execute, it's showing the correct result. So this is the regular function, right? Then what is happening with the arrow function? With the modern JavaScript, you can also create IIFE using the arrow function. It's not a big deal because we know how to use the arrow function, right? Just remember to wrap the arrow function in a parenthesis. Okay, and you will get a syntax error. Sorry. Otherwise, you will get the syntax error if you are not wrapping up with the parentheses. So the real world use case. So the first use case is initialization. Take this code. This code actually, you see, function, and this is your object, and this code actually run once, right? This object and documented body dot set attribute. And with the set attribute, we are passing the attribute name and then passing the our logic. And when we console log it, we get our result. Okay. This is a DOM manipulation here happening. So just skip this. Just remember how it works. Use case 2 is the loop variable encapsulation. Before late us, this was a classic problem. Okay. This type of problem was a classic problem. Take this code for, and we what we did, use this set timeout, and it's delay 1000 millisecond, and it's printed the value, same value multiple times because of this delay. And with this solution, using the function index as the parameter, and then set timeout. With this set timeout, we console log and we get the actual value. Okay, great. Okay, now the question is the modern adaptive. Now I should mention with the modern JavaScript, we have a block scope and let and const, and we have a ES6 modules. So IIFEs are less critical than they used to be. You can often use a simple block scope. This one. IIFEs are still useful when you need to return a value or create a closure immediately. And they are essential for understanding legacy code. Okay. For modern way, we actually don't use this, right? Because we already have a block scope, so we don't need it anymore. But for the legacy purpose, we need this. Okay, and that's IIFE. To recap, it's a function that execute immediately, creates its own scope, can accept parameter, return value, and was the crucial for avoiding global namespace pollution before ES6 module. Well, we have a modern alternative now. Understanding IIFE helps you write a better code and understanding the existing code base. If you found this helpful, smash that like button and subscribe for more JavaScript tutorial. Drop a comment if you have any question. I will see you in the next video where we will explore function. Bye bye.